Jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shmati Bhakti Vedānta Swami Shamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharanyani Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschita Vishakam. Hare Krishna. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay. So, welcome to another evening darshan. Nobody gets out of here without being chastised, so don't worry about it. Today we have to ask some of our posters on the website to please go study English. So how many visitors do we have? 17. Not bad for, what is it, Wednesday night?
Thursday.
Thursday already? Whew. Must be getting old, losing track of time. Senility creeping in.
That's the word Thursday.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay. That's good. Yeah, really. Time is for materialists. So, how's everybody doing out there in internet land? Where's my thing? Ah, here it is. Any questions or concerns or observations or anything before we begin? Tonight we're going to cover the fourth category of Anarthas, which are called Hṛdaya-daurbalya. Hṛdaya means a heart, of the heart. And daurbalya means weakness. Bala is strength, and durbalya means weakness or difficulty. So we see many people in this world today suffer from this weakness of heart. The educational system in particular trains us to be very weak at heart and not to have much in the way of personal plans or desires outside of very, very narrow range that is considered allowable or desirable by the corporate owners and other people who like to exploit the people. So we're trained up to follow herd mentality. Not to think for ourselves, not to observe reality and draw our own conclusions, but to listen to words and to respond to words instead of observing and thinking about what we observe. What a concept. I think it's called science. And if you do this, if you actually watch what happens and then think about it and draw your conclusions from that, it's the other one. It's over there. Yeah. You will find that the official sanctioned version of so-called reality is not reality at all. It's simply words, and people actually believe in words, and they live and die for words, such as patriotism, nationalism, thisism, thatism, different beliefs, which are all only based on words. We like to say, we don't want you to have a lot of faith when you approach the esoteric teaching. We want you to have just a little faith. Enough to try the process and observe the results in yourself. And if you try the process and you actually perform it according to all the specifications given in the scriptures, you will certainly experience the result. So we say, don't believe in my words. Try them. and sample the result. Experience it for yourself. Then you see whether or not we're telling the truth, whether or not we're believable. We don't want faith. We want credibility. We want to speak things, and then when you try them, they actually come out true. That's much better than saying, believe in this and that and the other thing. I can say, believe in Krishna. Believe that Krishna is God. Believe that Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of God. And I suppose I would find a very small number of people who would be willing to believe that. But it's much more powerful if I can say, try this, do this, and see what happens. See if the result you get is the same that's described in the scriptures. That's much more powerful. And any person who can think for themselves is going to prefer the second approach. Because that way you actually get to determine for yourself whether or not the things we're talking about are true. And that's what makes a bona fide spiritual master. Lord Chaitanya says, Kiba Nasi, what is that? Shudra Nasi, Kiba Nasi, no. Anyway, whether you're a Brahmana or a Shudra or whatever you are, doesn't matter what you are. If you know the science of Krishna, then you are a bona fide spiritual master. That's the qualification given in the actual scriptures. That's the qualification given in our line. If you know the science of Krishna. And what is that science? Does it mean that, you know, at the mere mention of the word Krishna, I go into some trance and then, you know, or I giggle a lot or something, you know? No, no. What it means is that I know the science. I can explain the science to you. I'm a science teacher. That's why we find that our students who have some background or inclination towards engineering, that kind of mentality, they do very well. Because this is an engineering mentality. You have a few kind of rules of thumb. A rule of thumb is not an exact scientific law, but it's a principle that guides action. And then you observe the results of your action, and then from there, by a process of successive approximation, called debugging, you reach the intended result. Because words are never perfect as a means of transmitting information. Mathematics is a little better. And we try to use our words in a mathematical, precise way. But since few people want to go to the trouble of reading the dictionary, and we can use them that way all we want, but there's still going to be some misunderstanding on the other end. Unless you, of course, are willing to go through the effort of actually learning the English language, which would make our job a lot easier if you would, but, you know, realistically, a lot of people aren't going to do that. So basically, here's what you have to do, is take what you get from the things we say, put them into practice, and see how close you get to the results. And then adjust things from there until you actually get the result. That's an engineering mentality. It's a little bit different from a Brahminical mentality or a scientific mentality, where we give precise formulations, and then you can just go into your lab and apply those immediately, get the result. That's when you reach the actual Brahminical platform, that's how it is. Simply by hearing, you can learn everything, even the practice. You can, just by hearing, you can duplicate the states of consciousness that we're describing, or that the scriptures are describing. But most people aren't on that platform. But at least you could be on the engineering platform, where you make an approximation, and then you keep refining until you get the intended result. That would be nice. But most people have a weak heart. And the four kinds of weakness of heart are tuccha-āsakti, attachment for useless things. Asakti means attachment. Useless things means Anything that is not engageable in Krishna's service. You have some suggestions? Dogs. Krishna has a pet dog. Yeah? It's a cow herding dog. See, now that's not useless. Yeah. Cow herding dogs don't bark. No. Yeah. Huh?
I should specify poodles.
Yes. Poodles are nasty little things, and they're completely useless. You know why cow herding dogs don't bark?
No.
Because cows hate barking. Cows, yeah, they really don't like barking. They don't like being yelled at. You want to get a cow pissed off at you, just yell at her, you know.